magical folk. Today we're going to indulge our crafty side, get some of our witch crafting on, and make a witch's ladder. I am really excited about this. I've been putting this off forever, so long in the back of my mind. I'm like, I should make a witch's ladder. I should make a witch's ladder. I should make a witch's ladder. You know what would tie into really well into my practice? Making a witch's ladder. So here we finally are. A witch's ladder is just a traditional folklore spell. Of course, we need our witchy cat with us to make our witchy ladders. So a witch ladder is just a traditional spell that is made out of a lot of whatever you have on hand that can enhance the spell. It's made out of yarn or twigs, fiber that you have, cat hair if you have that. Today I'm going to be working with 3 different colored yarns that are, just looking at them right now, I just realized these are my high school mascot colors. I didn't realize until right now that they're my high school mascot colors. So I'm going to be working a prosperity spell, and it's specifically prosperity for bringing in money with my creative endeavors, with my YouTube, with my candle shop, and all that. So I have a few things in here that are specifically for creativity, and we have our base colors of green, gold, and white, which the white kind of just covers all the creativity and everything else that I want to put into it. So what are the things that I'm going to be putting into it? First off, we've got some good old-fashioned money. Always good to put some money into prosperity spells if you can. This quarter is actually from my birth state of Rhode Island. So not really on purpose, just I happen to have this in my wallet and I was like, hey, that'll work. So I have a penny and a quarter. I have a green and gold bead to tie into those. And I have some crystals. So a lot of crystals for prosperity. We have tiger's eye, this old piece that I've had laying around for ages. Finally using it. We have some citrine. Some pyrite. This is the pyrite that I got in my delivery of the Pastel Journey Tarot. So, gonna use that. We got some clear quartz is just to strengthen the spell. Clear quartz is good for amplification. And I have the tiniest piece of moss agate, which, let me tell you, I have been trying to find moss agate all over Chicago. I found teeny tiny pieces at one shop, but cannot find it. Cannot find it at crystal shops, cannot find it at witchy shops. It's not like a rare stone, but it's not something that a lot of people go for. But I specifically wanted moss agate because, first of all, agate, in general, is good for prosperity, but moss agate is really good for prosperity. But it's also really good for creativity. So I specifically wanted moss agate for that reason, to tie in bringing in money from my creative endeavors. I have not been able to find any other moss agate in the city, which I find really, really weird, but sure. I have found crazy lace agate, I have found tree agate, I have found all these different kinds of agate, but not moss agate. But I did get this fabulous unicorn off Etsy. So I do love this. We're not putting it in here, but it's going to be nearby us as we create the spell to put that energy in. And then the last 2 components of the spell that I have some Capricorn oil and prosperity oil. And I'm going to just coat very lightly, not too much, lightly coat the yarn so that these energies will go into it. Capricorn, very good for prosperity work. I am also a Capricorn, so we're going to put that hard work ethic into our spell, because this is definitely a spell I need to put in the work to make the money. So we need to put in that work ethic to get the results. So we need to channel some Capricorn energy for sure. I'm a Capricorn. I channel that energy quite often, but we're going to put it into the spell just in case. With all that, let's get started on our witch's ladder. So for the witch's ladder, you start with 3 strings, yarn, whatever you're making out of, about 3 feet in length, at least 3 feet. I cut exactly 3 feet, and by the end, I was like very much at the end of it. Your mileage may vary depending on what you're tying into it. So I started with a green bead at the top and then just make a small braid. I braided it 9 times. 9 is the recurring number in this pattern. And then I put a pyrite at the stop at the end of the 9 braids. I actually had a really hard time getting the crystals to stay in. I underestimated. I thought because it was yarn and not thread that it wouldn't be such a hard time to get them to stay. I was completely wrong. So I did have to edit out a lot of the struggle when I was putting these crystals in. I have since learned how to wire wrap my crystals, so I'll be using that in future witches' ladders. And another 9 braids. While you're tying these different objects in, here I stop for a penny, a lucky penny. While you're tying these objects in, there is a little chant to go with them. So when you're tying in the first one, it's by knot of 1, the spell is begun. Second object, by knot of 2, the magic comes true. By knot of 3, so it shall be. By knot of 4, this power is stored. By knot of 5, my will shall drive. By knot of 6, the spell I fix. By knot of 7, the future I leaven. By knot of 8, my will be fate. By knot of 9, what is done is mine. I'll have that down in the description. And another braid. Here we have the little tiny moss agate. The tiniest moss agate that I could ever find. Actually, the biggest moss agate I could find. As you can imagine, I was already struggling with the other 2. I struggled with this one as well. But next time. And here we have 4 things tied in. You start to see it come together. Another braid. And then I put on the yellow bead. Just to, mark the middle of it. There are different ways that you can do a witch's ladder. I know I have seen a way where you start with the middle, and most people put a bead in the middle, and then they put 2 things on the end, and then they do the middle of that middle, between the end and the bead in the middle, and they kind of start doing the halves that way, so that it's very even. You can do it either way, but this is what made more sense to me for here. So here we added our clear quartz for amplification. Always a good thing to have in a spell. I use clear quartz in everything for amplification. And some citrine. This citrine did not want to stay in at all. it just kept falling out. You'll see it later in the video when I'm almost done and I'm working on the last thing. It fell out again and I was just like, oh, I'll just leave it and I'll put it back in when I'm hanging it up. So this citrine was very slippery and annoying. I actually got so frustrated with this citrine that I almost gave up for the moment. I put it aside for a few minutes, went and did something else and came back to it. And I was just like, okay, we're gonna do it. And I did it. But next time, definitely wire wrapping the crystals. Wire wrapping is actually deceptively easy. And here we have a quarter from my birth state. You can see I'm almost at the end of my thread here. And there goes the citrine popping out. And another braid. And the last thing, a tiger's eye, that big chunk of a tiger's eye that I have. And this used up the very last of my yarn. I thought I might not have enough for it, but I did. Just barely. But if I had to use tweezers to get the knots pulled through. And put the citrine back in. And there you have it. I have to say, the process of getting the crystals in was pretty frustrating, but the end result looks pretty cool. A witch's ladder is just a... Hi. Hi. Hello. Hello. You good there, Jenny? Oh. Okay, there you go. There you go. Jenny's just here now. She hid behind me. You feeling shy, Jenny? You feeling shy? She's right there. Oh.